Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Oh, Breeze Nation, we're back, baby. The bye week was buying, and I'm not selling. We got a lot to get into on today's episode of the Morning Breeze, because there's a lot to talk about from this bye week.
Yes, sir.
It was a meaty bye week, bye week to say the least. Let's start it off here. Ian Rapoport dropping some rap reports on Khalil Herbert and Nate Davis. Could they be two names that are on the move? According to him, they are drawing interest. Also got to give our bye week assessment. And ladies and gentlemen, the Bears may not get that 4th round pick.
Oh, come on.
Russ was balling. And of course, we got to look ahead at this Commanders game with the injury that Jayden Daniels is dealing with. How is that going to affect him in this upcoming Bears-Commanders matchup? Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 10/21. It is 6:34 in the goddamn morning. Mr. Meaty's got a new camera angle. And the Chicago Bears are back, baby. Let's go! Appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. We got a lot coming for you guys, man. I almost set myself up like you did. Almost messed myself up. Almost was coming hot and ready on that one, dog. That was a dangerous game I was about to play there. Good morning, Chicago. Good morning, world. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze. I need y'all to go ahead and do me a favor and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button. Nobody ever pushes the button. I'm sick of it, man. Sue Young been telling y'all.
Thinking about the breath.
You said what?
You subconsciously got me thinking about the breath every time.
Hey, if y'all haven't noticed, it made him change the mic. It made him switch up the mic selection. Somebody literally was in the comments was like, all I can hear is Jordan breathing on this now.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man, to another edition of the Morning Breeze. It's your boy Pat the Designer, joined as always by Jordan JC, Mr. Media himself. Shout out to the chat in the building. Jacob on the down was the first one in here. What an air. What's the word, Pat? Time to feast on the Commanders. Bear attack. All right. You know, I feel like bear attack is a very underutilized term in Bears world. We don't really attack much. We have been a very defensive bear. You know what I mean? More of a panda bear, if you will. Yeah. Not really what we've been looking for as far as the bear community goes. We've been very disrespected in the bear community out here. Appreciate y'all, man. Let's jump into this morning topic. First off, Jordan, how was the weekend, brother? Let's start there. How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. Weekend was great. I mean, you know,
how's your back?
Back's doing better. I'll be honest with you. I was down a little bit, but back's doing better. Hey, nothing can get me down. That's why you see the victory glasses. Even though there isn't a game or wasn't a game this past Sunday, I still won the weekend. Okay,
right, so we dominated that bye week. Don't you disrespect?
That's right. Stop playing with me.
No, dog. I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the text message come out from you about like that mattress needs to be burned, I was like, oh, Jordan helped Joe move. He's dead. Because Joel don't have like.
I swear he needs an official moving service. Every time somebody says to me, "Hey, it's only going to be a few pieces of furniture," I'm not buying that anymore. I swear to God, I almost killed myself pulling this dude's mattress up the stairs.
Hey, bro. I don't even show up. I just be up. Nope, got a thing. I actually
You know
did have to fix my mom's furnace, but
what made it worse is I don't know if anybody. I just want to rant for a second. If anybody has ever experienced trying to move a mattress without like the springs or anything like that, the mattress that's just flimsy and like it has no kind of like no backbone or anything, that is one of the hardest things to move in life. I will carry a dresser 10 times out of 10 before I carry a mattress with no backbone. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
these mattresses are spineless out here. And
It's spineless mattresses.
Spineless
Anyway.
mattresses out here, dog.
Whatever.
Hey, man, let's jump into today's show, man. Ian Rapoport, over the weekend, I believe this was Saturday when this rap report dropped, where he talked about basically 9 different players who are going to have some interest around the NFL, and 2 of those players, or who are gaining interest, I should say, around the NFL, and 2 of those players that were on his list are 2 current Chicago Bears that we have both talked about the possibility of the Bears moving. But the biggest question was, would anybody be interested in either of these guys? Well, we now hear from Ian Rapoport that not only are teams interested, but there's been, that people are calling and putting feelers out there. That's how they say it in the sports world. Feelers. There's just a little feeler out there for Khalil Herbert and Nate Davis.
Okay.
When you hear the fact that teams are actually calling about these 2, 1, does it get you excited? And 2, is it something you think the Chicago Bears will actually get done? Because we know, at least for Khalil Herbert, one of the teams was an NFC North team, and the other, you wonder who's calling. Are you going to move them to somebody that you're going to have to see at some point this season?
Does it get me excited? Absolutely, it gets me excited because I'm tired of Nate Davis just being on this roster. He's taking up space. You get him out of here, okay? Being a healthy scratch, I've had it. I mean, I think we've already kind of documented the fact that Nate Davis clearly doesn't want to be here. He feels that he's not around, I guess, enough talented people to play up to his standards. And so, yeah, you get him out of here. You get whatever you can for him, a paper bag, a plastic, hey, a mattress with a spine. I'll take a mattress with a spine for Nate Davis, for crying out loud.
Can we get a spine mattress for Nate Davis, please?
Or a back massage. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe not. Shout out to Deshaun Watson.
Hey.
But what I'm saying is that yes, you like the fact that there is interest being built for these 2. Obviously, one is not being used for a reason, but the other is not being used because we've already established a run game with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, and so it's unfortunate that he is kind of like the odd man out. He has talent. Obviously, we know Khalil Herbert has been producing the past couple of years as the lead back for most of those years. But I think it's just time now. And so you try to get as much back. We talk about the draft capital we probably could get back. You mentioned a team, I believe, in Dallas that could possibly be wanting a running back. Their core is not that good. And there's others. I believe the Jets. There was a guy, I'm not sure, Xavier, I can't remember his name, who went down in last night's game. I believe he was a lineman. And so there could be a need there as well. So there are going to be teams that are going to be asking for the services from these 2. And so it's just a matter of what deal you take back.
Yeah, Xavier Newman was who went, who went down yesterday. And listen, it ended up having to be carted off of the field, strapped onto the board. Prayers up to him.
Yeah.
I think that was a neck injury that he was dealing with, although we did hear this morning that there's some encouraging news around him. That was a little bit scary moment last night, especially when you're dealing with a neck injury in the NFL. I'll say this, right, about the fact that these 2 names are gaining interest, shall we say. And I think that's the part of it that gets Bears fans a little bit more tingly, right? That there's interest being gained. If you are having these conversations around these guys, it means that there's a need around the league. And I think that we've seen that, right? But it means that there's a desperation kind of need around the league. And I think that to me puts the Bears in an advantageous situation because realistically, Jesus Christ, the spider that just crawled across my soundboard.
I thought you were looking for 100 in the chat. I thought you were going to the soundboard.
Hey, I was going to the soundboard for 100, but he got to die, bro. This mug is moving at a pace of I'm about to turn Patton a spider. We're not doing that. No, I'm not even scared of
Yeah,
spiders, bro.
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Hey, bro, I'm not even scared of spiders. That mug went over my hand like, y'all, I almost bit
Yo,
you.
I am, man. Holla at you,
By the
man.
way,
All
George,
right, I'm just off work. He's like,
hey,
all right,
man,
I'm just off to work. Morning.
Just here for the family, man. I'm just up for work, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Now. I listen every morning, man. Big subscriber. Jesus Christ. By the way, George JC, over 100 in the chat.
Oh my
Hey,
God,
bro.
that's hilarious, bro.
Hey, bro, I looked over to the left. That man said, nah, brother, you got Scooby-Doo feet. That's nuts. Like, you got your own sound effects, dog.
Oh boy. Oh my God, y'all.
Oh, that was terrifying.
I live for these.
But no, I think here's my thing, right? You have an opportunity for the Chicago Bears here to be able to capitalize on some teams' desperation. I think that's really what it comes down to. And if you can do that at the highest level, and by that I mean, right, if you can do that to where you can get back better draft capital than expected, right? Like the fact that we're getting anything back for Nate Davis, shout out to it, because the contract that he's on this season, especially with the cap hit, doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
And I just think that's one of those things where you kind of hope that it gets figured out through the contract, right? Like you just gotta be like, contracts, what the contract is, you need a lineman. Don't pay attention to that number. You know what I mean? So, but the fact that you're getting that interest, the fact that we can say that there is something that the Chicago Bears can actually get back for a guy that one guy that you feel is useless, another guy who has just fallen out of the rotation.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be that's a good opportunity for the Bears to capitalize on something that we didn't expect really to be there, a market to be there for either of these guys. By the way, shout out to JC Franklin with the
JC.
super chat. Said, good morning, fellas. Tapping in late, coming in fast, hot, and ready. Yo, the NFC North is going to be a gauntlet. Oh, we're going to talk about that as well.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Shout out to JC, man. Showing love as always.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out JC, showing love.
Oh, you had nothing for that, okay?
Yeah, shout out to JC showing love.
No,
you were about to make a point, and then I dropped the JC thing, and then you just were like, "Yep, that point's gone." There it is. JC made my point for me. I'm gonna put him on the show. Stop playing with me.
Jeez.
Let me ask you this: if you had a preferred team that you'd want to see Nate Davis and Khalil Herbert end up on, where would you be looking on that?
Well, I said it before, and I actually think it's really good, but kind of bouncing it off of you, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are very desperate for a
little double bubble for both of them.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, you're talking about a team that historically has been very good on the offensive line, but I mean, lately, obviously, their guys have gotten older; they're out of their prime, and so there's a need for some offensive line help there, and then there's also a need for younger talent at the running back position. I mean, when you have Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott kind of spearheading your running back department, that's pretty bad. And I think Jerry Jones is the type of dealer that he's willing to do what he's got to do to try and upgrade at those positions. And so maybe there's a phone call to be made to Dallas where you package that for as much as possible. Maybe you get a fourth or a fifth or whatever the case may be. I'm willing to get a fourth or fifth back for those two. You come away happy with that. You come away feeling like you did something. Obviously, because if you don't trade Nate Davis, I feel like he's not worth anything, going forward. So that would be the team that I lock in on and try to make a call to.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. The Nate Davis, the double bubble trade there, that one did not pop in my mind, and that's a solid move, honestly. If you could pull something off like that. Now, here's the tough part, right? Are we going to be thrilled by the draft capital we're going to get back? Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, I mean, if we're talking about both of them, right? are you getting back a fourth?
I would say Khalil's trade value will push it to the fourth. Because I mean, Nate Davis alone is going to get you a sixth, probably. Because everybody knows Nate Davis's effort. Everybody kind of sees his resume. Like, you're a healthy scratch for a reason. Like, nobody is just going to be like, oh, we'll take Nate Davis for a third. He's a healthy. No, not like they understand you're a guy that probably has an issue at this
No, here's a guy.
So, here's a guy. You know, he's a nag. You know, so at the same time, if you pair a nag with the jag, you might get the bag.
See, I wonder that though, because as bad as Nate Davis is, right, and this is going to sound bad, I would say Nate Davis's value is higher than Khalil Herbert still.
Really?
And this is not a running back hate thing. It's just I feel like there are running backs around the league that are the third and fourth running back that people may go, I'll take a chance. Now, are they all better than Khalil Herbert? I don't know that, right? I don't think that there's guys that are massively out there better than Khalil Herbert, but I think most of your draft capital is coming from the fact that you're sending Nate Davis. Khalil Herbert is a money move, right? He's a hey, let me get a little bit better je ne sais quoi on this pick real quick. I'm gonna need a little bit more off of this draft pick. And I think that that's really all that Khalil Herbert kind of brings to that deal. I know that sounds crazy because Khalil Herbert is by far the better player. You know what I mean? You're going to get more out of Khalil Herbert than you're going to get out of anybody else in that deal. But I think that as far as the draft capital goes, you're probably looking at Khalil Herbert being the guy that teams are going to care more about.
Absolutely.
And I think that's that puts the Bears in an advantageous. I'm sorry. I think that Nate Davis is the guy that people are going to care more about. And I think, again, like I said, it puts the Bears in an advantageous situation. You mentioned the Dallas Cowboys; they're a desperate team.
I think you're just saying that because you don't have an affinity for running backs. Me personally, I think Khalil Herbert's value is way better just because his effort is there. I mean, people are kind of like looking at like, okay, who's going to bring the most out of who are we going to get the most out of when they come to the team? I don't know. I think.
But who are you picking the phone up for most if you're calling around the league, right? I can survive without having the Bears' third running back, who could be a number one. If I just lost my right guard or I got offensive line issues, I can't survive. And we've seen that here in Chicago, right? As we watch Nate Davis get blown up, we go, oh, Caleb Williams is going to die. This is going to be bad. We need help, please. You know what I mean? So I just think that if I'm picking up the phone to call about somebody, Khalil Herbert is probably going to end up being hey, what you got going on with Herbert there? Versus I'm probably not picking up the phone just to call about Herbert. Now, in Dallas, maybe, right? Dallas's offensive line issues are not as glaring, but like you mentioned with the Jets, with some of these other teams, right? I'm calling about probably Nate Davis first, as wild as that is to say, and then I'm looking to see if I can add something on top of that.
Okay, I mean, yeah, no, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Obviously, the more important position at this point would be, obviously the protection up front for a quarterback instead of maybe getting a running back in there. That is true. The value does. I just don't see the stock or the value in Nate Davis at this point. But I mean, there will be teams again, and that's what we're saying is that there will be a thirsty team out there, and I just think that like if you package the both of them, you'll get something back. I see a lot of people stating maybe a seventh or a couple of sixth. I actually think it'll be a little bit higher than that, in my opinion. Again, I feel like pairing them together, you'll raise that value a little bit more.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like anything back is good because, that's just another piece that Ryan Poles could maybe use in another trade. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, pairing them together, I think, gets you a little bit more. I think Nate Davis could get you a fifth or a sixth that turns into a conditional fifth. And similar, right? You throw Khalil Herbert in there. I think that can get you to maybe a fifth that turns into a conditional fourth. I don't know if you're going to get anything straight out. You know what I mean? Because they are two players that both you need heavy conditions on. But and here's the thing that when we talked about the Nate Davis situation before, you need to make a move here soon.
Yeah.
Because you're in a position where You've got Ryan Bates coming back off of IR at some point. You've got Larry Borum coming back off of IR at some point. You want to start adding that depth to this roster so that you can start working these guys in there, no matter where that ends up being, right? I don't know where Bates is going to play. Borum's probably some form of tackle, which is never good. But it's, you've got that depth out there that you want to add to this team. And so to me, like, you want to get this done ASAP like Rocky, because the where you're at right now as far as extra bodies on this offensive line, like, I would 110% rather have Larry Borum inactive, but like, he's on the roster and can actually contribute, versus a guy like Nate Davis, who, I mean, he's probably not even practicing much at this point.
Yeah, he probably isn't.
Like, he is falling out of the rotation so far. It's just like, hey, Nate, the check's in the mail, bro. Stay home.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next week. Yeah, we'll call you. We'll call you when we need you, and we won't need you.
No, 100%.
Well, here's my thing with Khalil, because I know we mentioned it before in another conversation. Is it good to try and get a deal done quickly, or what if there's a situation that comes? Because I like the fact, again, that we're coming off of a bye week. Everybody is pretty much recovering from injury. Everybody's coming back a little bit more, healthier, ready to go for week 8, right? But what if there's a scenario where, like you mentioned before, there's a need for us to keep Khalil? Could that potential situation come up where, maybe Roschon gets hurt in week 8, or unfortunately DeAndre Swift goes down in week 8, and now we're saying, okay, well, Nate Davis is the only one on the block now for teams,
I mean, listen, y'all know how I feel. We watched Deontay Foreman be able to come back into the game and be able to perform. We've watched running backs off of the street who know the system be able to come in and perform. If you can block for these guys, they usually can play pretty well. Khalil Herbert is not a Roschon Johnson replacement. Khalil Herbert would be more of a DeAndre Swift replacement. If DeAndre Swift goes down, Roschon Johnson becomes the number 1 in my book, right? And you just say, hey, we riding with this and we're going to figure it out, and let's see what this kid can do as the number 1, which is probably a dream scenario for Ryan Poles. Khalil Herbert, he just doesn't play a part in the equation for me as much. It's not to say that I don't think Khalil Herbert is talented, but clearly the Bears are ready to move on from Khalil Herbert. And so if you're going to do that, if you're going to, it's nice to have him as an insurance guy. It'd be nice to have him as that speed back out of the backfield, right? But he's not a guy who's going to be doing a lot of blocking in that backfield. He's not a guy that's a big, he can pass catch, but he's not a major pass catch guy, although it helps if you throw the football to him. He caught the ball at above 60% clip last season. To me, I see Herbert more as a piece that that's probably not a part of this team moving forward, than as a piece that you hold on to just because you want to have Khalil Herbert on the team.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat again. There's some really, you all are really throwing out some really good potential trades. I love Jay Grizz's, Nate Davis and Herbert again going to the Cowboys for Zach Martin, even though Martin is not as good as he used to be. I'll take that. I'll take Zach Martin, bringing back a guy that has a better track record. We'll see. You're not going to get the greatest and latest. So, I mean, that's my thing is, do you take a late round pick, or do you take
what's Martin's contract? Because I don't want Zach Martin forever.
That's what I'm saying. He would just be a piece that would kind of last you maybe the next couple of years, or going into the end of this season. And then obviously you go into the draft addressing line. But I mean, Zach Martin is somebody that, obviously would be better than a lot of options, on this team right now.
Oh, he's under. This is the last year of his contract. Okay. Yeah, I mess with Zach Martin. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah,
give me Zach Martin in a
that
fifth.
Actually would be a nice trade. I wouldn't mind that one.
He's Zach Martin in a fifth.
It's just because you want it, huh?
It's just because I want it. I want the fifth. Hey, man, first things first. Over 200 in a check. 200. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's keep this thing moving along. We are going to go to take a quick break. And on the other side, we got to talk about this bye week and our biggest takeaways from it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the conversation that was had in the chat earlier, right? The NFC North is a gauntlet.
Yes, it is.
And we got a chance to focus in on the NFC North, and it's scary out there, boys. We'll talk about all that and more right after this. Yo, what's happening, Bears Nation? It's your boy Pat, the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you a 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Haven't had the opportunity to do this in a while, but shout out to the hate in the chat from this guy, David Galvez. I can tell just from this picture, his teeth are so spaced out. His two biggest nemesis are straws and bubblegum.
Hello.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I got a mic. He got comments. I got a mic.
Come on, man.
I'm never not gonna win. I can say anything I want.
What did you expect?
I can say anything I want. That's my favorite part. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Got a lot to get into on today's show. And we've already covered quite a bit. Trade situation, Ian Rapoport reporting that there's a lot of interest, or that the Chicago Bears are gaining interest. I shouldn't say a lot of interest, right? When you start at zero, gaining interest could be anything.
Yeah,
but there's hey, said Pat when he get roasted. Hey, bro, it's in my nature. It's
I want to calm down.
It's a part of me. It's a part of me. But no, let's keep this thing moving along. Just talked about the gaining traction for Nate Davis and Khalil Herbert. We'll see what ends up coming from that. Let's keep this thing moving along, JC, because the bye week has come and gone for the Chicago Bears. And so we got an opportunity to see what's happening around the league. And I didn't need to watch the whole league. Although I did. I watched so much football, but I always watch a lot of football. Mugs always be like, the only games I really don't get to see is like some of the afternoon games. And I usually end up going back and rewatching those. But usually like I fall into, because when I do the post game show, I'm usually on from like 5 to 7. So I fall into kind of that like end of some games, middle of where Sunday Night Football is gonna start up, and then my show is over by the time Sunday Night Football gets cracking. But got to see just a full day of football. Teams all around the league, phenomenal play from some really, really dangerous NFC North teams. I mean, that's what stands out to me. My biggest takeaway: this is not going to be easy. This is going to be an absolute, as somebody said in the chat earlier, gauntlet. This is going to be an absolute gauntlet, this NFC North here. I mean, you watch that Vikings game. It looked like the Vikings were going to just get dog walked as they played the Lions yesterday. And then all of a sudden, Sam Darnold's like, oh, wait a minute, Justin Jefferson's down there somewhere. Let me throw this thing down there. It's down there. Finds Justin Jefferson for a dot in the end zone. I watched Jordan Love yesterday and was like, dang it, this dude is one of those quarterbacks that can just turn guys into wide receivers. Whenever I hear Dentavious Wick's name pop up, just like, what the is that?
Yes.
And then like I mean, dog, like then you go over to had Lions Vikings, and then you go over to that Packers game, right? And they just basically curb stomp everybody. It's just you came out of this week going, listen, this Bears team is going to have an uphill battle all season, but at least we're a part of the fight.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I love it. And I've told you this before. What do we got? A Dan Tanner shout out real quick. So he said roasted it. Oh yeah, this is definitely a path to design a special talent. Yeah.
Is it? I feel like everybody should be able to roast.
Some people got it, some people don't. Like sometimes you just got it right away, but then there's others that they're not really quick on the draw. You know
what it is that I've noticed that me and Hayes do when we fry mugs? We don't sit there. I see a lot of people, they be like, oh, friendly spar, a little jab here, a little jab there. No, I'm trying to knock you out.
You got to go for the kill.
I'm trying to knock you out on the first joke, and then I'm going to get mean. Like, I'm starting with something that's going to hit you in your soul. I'm going to be like, hey, bro, listen, you got high cholesterol. You probably not going to have a foot in 5 years.
Dang.
You know what I mean? And then we working our way up to the joke.
Gangrene, actually. Okay.
A little bit of gangrene. The gangrene gang out here.
All right. Yeah, as you can see, the guy left. Apparently, he ran away.
He did not say another word.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, I agree. Everyone can't roast. So maybe, there isn't a comeback in this guy's future. So anyway, whatever. My point that I was going to make is actually piggybacking off of yours. The NFC North is dangerous, but I love it that way. I love the fact that you have competition. Yeah. I love the fact that we're a part of the best division, clearly, in the entire NFL. I mean, the worst team technically is us at 4-2. There's nobody under 500 or at 500. Everybody is either 5-1, 5-2, or 4-2 because the Bears haven't played yet. They're coming off the bye week. And so we're talking about neck and neck competition. I want that because if you're going to be the best, beat the best. And the fact that you have that right in your own division and 6 times during the season, you love that because then that gives you your level as to where you're at. Where are you at defensively? Where are you at offensively? Where are you at on special teams? Those are the things that you want to kind of grade yourself at, and you want to grade it against the best competition on offense and defense. And so I love the outcomes of these games. That Minnesota Vikings-Lions game was epic. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't want to admit this, but Jared Goff is definitely up there for the MVP talks. He had a game already. He was perfect. He was 18 for 18, I think, one time.
Yeah.
He's 22 for 25 this game. The efficiency is ridiculous.
Bro,
so we got to give him kudos, man.
Listen, I love right, and this is a callback to a previous what was that Friday show? Or Thursday show. I love that Joel is like, this guy's not good. He don't got it. Man, listen. I don't know if you've seen Jared Goff recently. Probably not, because knowing Joe, he was moving stuff or putting the bathroom in and not watching the game. But dog, you gotta. There's no way you can watch this guy and think that he's not absolutely dominating the NFL right now on a consistent basis. Now, I still stand on my point of I think that the Bears can be the team that gets to Jared Goff. I think that the Bears can be the team that gets the best of them. But here's Jared Goff's last 3 games. This don't even make sense, JC.
Bro.
versus the Seahawks, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, 100% completion rating. What the is that? This is the NFL, bro. I can't even get 100% in Madden. That's backyard football stuff. What is 100% completion rating? What?
Dude, he's a video game.
Versus the Cowboys, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 72% completion rating. He came back to earth.
Oh, 72. Huh?
72. He came back to earth.
What a dud.
280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 88% completion rating. Here is last 4 quarterback ratings: 113.6, 155.8, 153.8, 140. He is balling right now, and he's doing it versus a plethora, shall we say, of teams. Right, the Vikings, of course, a much better defense than you would expect. Cowboys are garbage. You're supposed to dog stomp the Cowboys. Seahawks are. I don't know what the Seahawks are. Seahawks are mid.
Yeah, they're in the middle.
Seahawks are a mid team, and then the Cardinals are kind of garbage as well. Last tough defense that he faced before that would be the Buccaneers. He struggled. Struggled. Well, no, he did struggle. 307 yards, 2 interceptions, 61 quarterback rating. Yeah, that was probably
no touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so what is it? No touchdowns in that game. So yeah, that's maybe that's the kind of data the Bears give them. But I looked around the NFC North and I was like, and I agree with you on this. I love it because it does. Do I think that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this division? I think that he can get there. I don't think he's there yet.
No, not now.
Do I think that the Bears have the best defense in this division that can match up with all of these names
there you go.
that are out there right now? 110% I do. I hope that they use this bye week to get themselves back healthy. Can't wait to hear. I believe Matt Eberflus speaks today. I can't wait to hear from him to kind of get a update on where guys are at health-wise right now, because I think that, if you've got a healthy secondary, especially moving forward, I'm not worried about any of these guys, any of these teams, I should say. Not to say that I don't think that they can't beat us. I still got a splitting with the Packers. I think I had a sweep in the Vikings. That may not happen now. We may be splitting with the Vikings because the Vikings, listen, Sam Darnold to me yesterday proved something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was versus a defense that has been able to get after quarterbacks, that has been able to, now they still were able to intercept the football yesterday and things like that. But like, Sam Darnold yesterday showed me that this ain't just a fluke. I'm really him right now. Yeah, I mean, they calling me Hemi Neutron in these Viking streets.
Hemi Neutron.
Now, I will say this. Dan Campbell had needed a wheelbarrow to wheel around the balls that he was on the field with yesterday. Because that 4th down play.
Yeah.
Whoo, Dan Campbell was just like, we ain't kicking it. We about to take they so, and he's letting the clock run out the whole time. Crazy work yesterday, Dan Campbell. He had to use a wheelbarrow to get on the plane yesterday.
I know I'm committing like the biggest sin here, but I'm starting to really like Dan Campbell and his coaching ability, his coaching, the way he goes about his business. You really see that team playing for him, as we've talked about before. When we talked about, the positioning of these coaches in this division, you have to give respect where respect is given. Darnold is.
He might be, bro. He might be comeback player of the year. Like, I don't even know anybody else that's in the running.
Yeah, who would be? I mean, because Aaron Rodgers is not doing anything right now. That would be the only thing I would think of coming back from injury. He's not doing as good of a job as I thought he would be, even with this guy coming to the team. You might be right.
And Flacco won it last year. Who would be your guys? Flacco, Dalton? Nah, Dalton's been trash.
Andy, they're not giving it to the Panthers.
Flacco's been kind of cheeks as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good call out. That's a good call out. It probably would be Darnold, man. He had a real good game yesterday. But again, like you said, just again, I want to measure myself up against the best. And again, with our defense being probably, in my opinion, the best in the league, close to like where Pittsburgh is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where, you can kind of even the score with these teams, even though they have, maybe a better sustained offense at this point, with more experience, whether it be with the Green Bay Packers and LaFleur and Dan Campbell, those guys, and Jared Goff just going completely nuts this season. and then Sam Darnold doing his thing. I think the reason why the Bears are in a good position is because defense travels, and also just hey, we have players all over. We have dogs all over the place on defense that will always keep us in those games. So that's where I'm not worried.
No, 100%. I feel good about how we match up versus every team we play. After watching yesterday's game, I mean, even watching San Francisco yesterday versus the Chiefs, I mean, that turned into a defensive bloodbath.
I was surprised that the Chiefs won. I'll be honest with you. I was surprised.
It felt like a defensive, it felt like exactly what we saw. I wasn't surprised if Brock Purdy was turning that ball over left and right and throwing some very turnover friendly passes. I mean, I was like, dog, stop throwing the football to the other team. But yeah, I watched yesterday and defensively went. Now I will say that 49ers defense looks probably the most daunting defense we're going to face in the second half of this, and we've got some solid defenses in the second half of the season, but I'm not losing my mind at any team probably outside of the 49ers that I watched yesterday. I thought that 49ers team defensively, I was like very dangerous, but I will say this, offensively, I don't know how long Brandon Ayuk is going to be dealing with some injury. The Bears keep catching breaks.
That was another thing I wanted to mention is that it seems like throughout this entire season, we keep going against teams when they're losing their best players. Like, now you're going to have C-Mac and Ayuk probably lost for the season. They're saying they feared that he tore his AC. I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
Yeah.
But, those two are two of the biggest stars on their team. And I'm looking at the stats from yesterday. I mean, again, 3 interceptions from Brock Purdy. You see when talent is taken away from you, you kind of see how certain quarterbacks and certain talent kind of comes back down to earth. And so maybe we have a better chance at beating a team like San Francisco. And even on the other side with the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes didn't have a good game, 2 interceptions as well. I mean, the quarterbacks didn't throw anything. It was more of a running back game yesterday. And so that was one thing that impressed me is that, I think the Bears, when it comes to this harder schedule that we're going to be going up against, whether it be division rivals or, better teams like the 49ers, I think that we will be right in those games. I don't foresee any of these teams, honestly, blowing us out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that. And I think that we're right in the mix. That's really what I came away with yesterday feeling, honestly. Yeah. Let's keep it. Let's look at the other game, because I will say this. I also left yesterday with 2 takeaways from that Sunday night game.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is done.
Yep.
And we're not getting that we're not getting that 4th round pick.
Man, bro. Why couldn't they just take him out when he started off that
4th round pick, dog? Hey, Russ was balling. And it took You know what was funny is once it was like early in the game, I was like, this dude sucks. I can't believe. And the best part was you could see Mike Tomlin's face. He didn't want to put Russ in. You could see his face. He was all right. All right. Like he was trying to hide it, but you could tell that he was so mad.
I'm gonna let this ride.
He was like, I'm gonna let it ride. We need to pick. I'm sick of this. Hey, that mug went out there. That mug in the second half, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Where'd this rust come from? Now, I don't know how long it's going to last. 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 55.2% completion rating. Not crazy there. 109 yards in totality. I don't know if it's going to last. I don't know what happened at halftime, but I will say this.
I think Brandon Green knows what happened at last.
Well, shout out to Brandon Green out here. But if he keeps playing like this, the Chicago Bears are definitely getting that conditional 6th instead of the 4th.
Yeah, I think that was the strategy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I've listened to a bunch of analysts talk about was this fair? Was this the right time to bench Justin Fields when you got a quarterback that actually is thrown for 10 touchdowns, only got 1 interception? And if you have the eye test, you can kind of see that, that the passing game was kind of it was deficient. Obviously we know the strengths of Justin Fields. He's more of a runner. than a pure passer. And so that's what they were looking for. And they honestly were looking for any excuse to try to interchange at the quarterback position. And because Russ got off in the I wouldn't say the tail end, he got warmed up going into half. It looked much better and better. And that was the unfortunate thing, because I was like, man, the way it started, I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Justin Fields is coming back in any minutes. And then just get outside. Yeah, so Russ, for the time being. And I'm not somebody that's going to wish anything like injury or anybody. So for the time being, if he stays healthy, we might be seeing Russell Wilson complete this season out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe that could be a running back.
That is my question. We really didn't see Russ get hit. I'm not gonna lie, like the Jets defense kind of isn't good either, though.
No, man, I'm surprised.
I was sitting there watching them yesterday, and I was like, I know they fired Robert Saleh and all of that, but I was just like, y'all really aren't good. Like, I got to change my opinion on this Jets defense. That was a defense I thought that was going to consistently be after quarterbacks. It's going to be putting I was like, y'all getting killed out there.
Bro, I'm trying to figure out what the issue is, because they still got some of the same names. They got Quentin Williams, who everybody thought was going to be probably up there as far as defensive tackles when Aaron Donald retired. You got Sauce Gardner, which many people's opinions is apparently the best shutdown corner in the league, or at least he was. You got C.J. Mosley. Like, you got names on that team. Yeah. And they're just being walked over.
Sounds like they got names and names alone, because it did not look good yesterday at all defensively for the New York Football Jets. But hey, I mean, I just – that it sucks for me as a Bears fan, because that fourth would have been a really nice fleece. But you feel, I keep saying this, you feel better about this deal as long as Caleb plays well. Caleb plays well. I don't really care. Whatever we get from the deal, we get from the deal. You know what I mean? That's really what it ends up coming down to. Let's finish the show out on this, JC, because we did see something yesterday as well around the league that could affect the Bears heading into this game. Now, I don't think there is any way that he does not play versus the Chicago Bears. I think you would basically have to, because of the kind of competitor that he is, I think you would basically have to lock him out of the state to keep him away from the stadium to play against Caleb Williams. I think the fact that they kept Jayden Daniels out after the rib injury has 900% more to do with the fact that the Panthers have been Ryan Poles, like, bro, the only equivalent that I could think of yesterday was when the Death Star blew up Alderaan. That's what Ryan Poles did to the Panthers franchise, bro. He shot a ray from Chicago and just eviscerated Carolina. All of it.
Poles is Palpatine.
Yeah, north, south, all of it. He just boom, gone. And
I love it.
I mean, listen, friggin' Marcus Mariota walked in and was like, "Oh, you guys suck this bad? I can play quarterback in this league." Yeah, it was terrible, bro. But I will say this: my takeaway, like I said, I don't think that Jayden Daniels won't play versus the Bears. I think that this is a game that he will force himself into if he needs to. But I do think the takeaway is with how Jayden runs, which is very reckless. He runs he wants to be a downhill runner. He wants to get into the pile. And even on that play, my concern was that it didn't look crazy. But I don't know if Jayden's body can hold up his running style, bro. He runs like he thinks he's Cam Newton. Well, like seeing that hit yesterday, because that hit to me, I was like, it looked like he tackled him.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like he lit him up. Like he tackled him and brought him down. Like it's a regular tackle. Like when I see him run and try and run through people and not run around them, I'm like, ooh, don't. And the first tweet I see when I get on Twitter is RG3. Please, God, don't let Jayden Daniels be hurt. Like,
yep.
Dog, it's a little bit concerning watching his game.
Yeah, Jayden might need to holler at me for that steak diet. I got to put a little meat on that bone, I swear, because there's going to be times where Whoa. What did I say?
Got to put a little meat on that what?
Bone now. Meat on the bone. Meat on the bone.
Yeah.
That's a normal statement. Don't try to do me.
I think it's normally bones. Statement. You put a little meat on the bones. It was a singular bone. I don't like that. Well, I'm a player. Right? That was wild.
Hey, you know what?
That was wild.
Man, I ain't
that was wild.
But
hey,
no,
yo.
You know that guy can't coming in like he has a very skinnier stature, and so obviously taking hits like that, yeah, you want to compare him to Cam Newton, he is not. That is half, or I would say a third of Cam Newton's size. Yeah. So he's going to have to kind of adjust the way he runs or adjust the way he plays when it comes to that part of his. He has mobility, but that part of his game. And again, I actually talked about this. Oh, by the way, on my first comeback video of Chicago.
No,
I am back. If you all want to come over there and tune into the new and improved Chicago Bears breed,
tap into the Chicago Bears breed.
All right. But no, I think that obviously everybody was looking forward to this game. I think that when the NFL flexed it, that's what we're looking forward to is this matchup because everybody's talking about Jayden is right now in the front of the race for Offensive Player of the Year versus Caleb, but Caleb clearly has been making strides week after week after week. And so, could this game, obviously be a determining factor in that race, and seeing, okay, well, is Caleb a first-read quarterback or can he go through his progressions? Is Jayden just a first-read quarterback? What's going to happen when Jalen Johnson takes away Terry McLaurin? Where is he going to go to? Is he only going to throw to the right side of the field like you showed in that pass chart a couple of videos ago? So, these are all questions that we look forward to answering, and we hope that he's on the field. But again, I believe he is. There was a video showing him walking, I guess, into the tunnel, signing autographs. He looked fine. His mom said he's fine. We just hope that the tests say that he's fine, too. I don't foresee any issues.
Yeah, shout out to his mom saying fine.
Oh, boy.
Shout out Shadow Master MC said, I'm waiting for the TWCB versus CBC flag football game. I'm not biased. There's no bias here.
Yeah, no bias.
There's no bias. I feel like we dog walked them in flag football. They got their own C-dub, but we can have our dub on the line.
I will crush every last one of them.
Yeah. I feel like we dominate them in flag football. The one that's gonna be the toughest is gonna be Kev.
I'm coming for
the one that's gonna be the toughest is gonna be Kev because Kev is tall. Kev is real tall.
Hey, go for the knees.
That's gonna be go for the knee. We're playing flag football, Jordan. Flag football.
When a tree has to come down, you chop it at the root. You chop it at the root,
baby. Only flag I'm playing is this flag you about to throw. That's a penalty.
I'm tackling Hayes one good time. I'll take the penalty.
Hayes is a running back, so Hayes might still have a little bit of
that. He ain't getting away from me.
Hey, Joe gonna pull a muscle. Hey, Joel and Cam gonna be out the game immediately. Joel and Cam are gonna be out of the game immediately. First play, they just
Joe, what did Joe say? They don't want that
smoke. Joe said they don't want the smoke. Shout out Joel in the chat.
Right.
That is a great video opportunity where we're all gonna be pulled hamstrings up. Hey, the running back is Ringo. The running back is Ringo.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Let's say that boy get the wheels. Oh, dog. That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal, dog. We got to set that up. I'm not going to lie. By the way, we didn't do this, and we've reached both, but it's gone down a little bit. Over 300 in a chat. Over 400 in a chat. I love that it's flag football and everything that we did immediately went to I'm gonna hit him dead in his head. I'm stiff arm.
Steve-O hit sticking somebody. Everything is contact.
Oh man. Oh, Jay Capone Don says CBC over TWCB.
Nah,
hey, listen.
Nah.
Hey, I don't know. Steve-O and JC going head to head. It's an elite joke. No, I'll say this. I'll say, Joel, I am an athlete.
You gotta be about it, Joel.
I'm an athlete. I play. Like, and you know the funniest thing was we were coming back from somewhere. Oh, when we went to do check out the spot for where we're doing one of the events at.
Yeah.
And Joel's daughter, like, just out of nowhere was like, race y'all to the car, go, and took off. And so I was like, all right. So I got like my tablet and I start running and I'm still faster than everybody. And so like I just see Joel in the back, just this fat boy can run. Just falling behind. Joel got to the car. He was I thought he was in the rush hour. I thought he was breathing with Sue Young. This was Joe.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button.
That was Joe when he got to the car.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Oh, dog. Finishing it off with a little bit of football, though. Getting back. I guess this was all football talk. Getting back to a little bit of football talk, though. With Jayden Daniels, I'll say this. I fully expect him to play in this game. I don't expect there to be any major setbacks. I think that this is going to be a game that is a tone setter, and I love the video that you dropped over on the Chicago Bears Breeze. You know, is this going to be the game that sets the offense, that puts the someone in position for the Offensive Player of the Year award? I'll say this: if Jayden Daniels comes out as the victor, you're gonna have the conversation about how he beat Caleb while his ribs were messed up and all of this, right? That all is going to play into it, and so I think that would absolutely put you ahead in that conversation if Caleb Williams dominates, which I'm not gonna lie, I get, you know, what we saw yesterday, but I am not fooled by it. I still think this Bears defense is going to absolutely manhandle this Commanders crew, and I'm buying in on this Bears defense.
Yep.
I'm buying in on this Bears defense, bro.
Oh yeah.
What did he say? Said Pat ran like he was carrying bodies through the building. What does that mean? What kind of run is that?
Like a desperate run? What were you trying to have?
I don't know. I had on jeans and I had an iPad in my hand because I was watching the game. I didn't want to drop my iPad, so I was running a little more preppy. I was running like Double D from Ed Netty. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was running like that because I had to. I didn't want to drop my iPad. I no case my iPad, so you got to be safe out here. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a good game for the Chicago Bears coming up, and I do think this sets the tone for the Offensive Player of the Year award, Offensive Rookie of the Year award, I should say. And like I said yesterday, I left that game going. I mean, 6'4", 205. I know it was a pause, but he does need to get some more meat on the bones up there in Washington. I don't know if they got what's good Washington food.
Actually, I don't know. I've never been to Washington.
What's some fire food in Washington? Anybody from Washington in the chat? Does anybody know what the Washington food of choice is?
Soul food down there? What do they got down there?
Is that a down there? That's up there, ain't it? That's up there.
Washington, yeah.
Shrimp and grits. Okay, shrimp and grits. Any seafood and crab. That checks out, actually.
Oh, hey, he's been to Washington? Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense because, you know, ocean.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right.
Jacob Bonadon said Pat is quick, not elusive. Oh, hey man,
game, baby.
We're setting this game up. I love that.
Hey, we got to do it. We got
to do it now. We should do it for like a turkey bowl game.
Antenna on the mic on the ones and twos.
That should be our turkey bowl game, bro. We set up like multiple different cameras, angles, and all of that stuff. We get that fully set up. That would be fire. Hey man, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back later today, 6 o'clock for the Daily Show. Make sure that you guys tap in with us this evening to talk more Chicago Bears, to talk more, possibly even some Chicago Bulls. The NBA's back this week, baby. And I'll tell you this right now, something major dropping this Friday from Pat the Designer and Dan Tanner. Stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again with Mr. Meaty, Jordan JC. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love.
You.
Peace. I still didn't add in the Breeze one yet.
Oh, you didn't? Thank you.
Yeah, very excited into the stream. Thank you. Oh boy. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. We gotta get that flag game set up because I haven't played flag football in a minute, man. I'm ready.
Bro, the amount of stretching that I'm gonna have to do before a flag football game, bro.
You're full of hamstrings.
Bro, that is dangerous work. That's phenomenal content, though.
Play one, hamstring torn. Yep.
Hey, yeah, redemption for Bull Central, man. Get that man his channel back, bro.
Wait, what happened?
They out here stealing channels, bro.
Oh no, we ain't having that. That's Hayes all day.
Not Chicago Bull Central, Bull Central.
Oh, okay.
Shout out my boy Jamal.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. I'm not tearing my Achilles, Hayes. Shut up.